Hello and happy Black History Month, and welcome to the NOLA Art Pod with your host, me, Janique. Now, full transparency, this is the third time that I'm recording this particular episode of this podcast because this is a very difficult topic to discuss. Not for like its content. Well, for me, not for its content. I don't know about anybody else, but for just the difficulty I had in putting words to feelings that I've had for a very long time that I'm still honestly navigating, you guys. I'm still trying to figure this out. And what I'm talking about is my identity and my art and how those two intersect. And to give you a little bit of backstory, way ago, a long time ago, in a faraway land called Destrehan, I was a fifth grader and had a friend who was super into Sailor Moon. And at that time, I'm pretty sure the manga had come out, but I'm not sure about the actual show. I think maybe a couple episodes were out by then. I don't know. But all I remember is I was a super fan along with her, and she would bring her manga books to school, and during lunch, I would bring my sketchbook to school and copy some of the um, manga spreads or character designs from the Sailor Moon manga. And sometimes they would be direct copies. Sometimes I would just like make up characters on my own. And I was so proud of myself, y'all. I was like so prolific. I remember having like at least 5 sketchbooks full of like all these different anime inspired characters, and my mom loved it. She loved the fact that I was creative and was really like supportive of me and bought all my sketchbooks and stuff. And I even had some family members that would always like give me art supplies for my birthday or for holidays. And so one time I had some family members come over, and my mom, she always used to brag about me to her family members. So my mom wanted me to show off my sketchbook. And I was super excited to show off my sketchbook. I was like, look, Auntie, here's this character that I made, and this is like the princess from this, and blah, blah, blah. And if anybody's ever like seen or known uh, the designs for like anime and manga characters, they all have like a very distinct look, like very big eyes, very small heads, and pointy chin, and spiky hair, all that stuff. One could read that as um, this is a specific phenotype that's featured, or these are specific features of a certain um, demographic of people, right? And what my aunt at the time said that like forever kind of oh just disappointed me, I suppose, was oh, these characters aren't black, why don't you draw black people? And that, y'all, that spawned on so much stuff. That spawned on some therapy talks for sure. um I have had countless thoughts about just that time in my life and how that has um like impacted me, and just remembering that day, that didn't feel good. That felt like really bad. It felt like I did something wrong. I felt ashamed. I didn't want to After that, I didn't want to show people my artwork anymore. I didn't want to really even draw those characters anymore. And so I tried to make that part of myself small because I felt like I wasn't black enough. And I went through a long time feeling that way because of a lot of the likes that I had or the interest that I had. And that's a whole other thing to discuss. I'm not going to really get into right now, but essentially, like, I went through life feeling that my art was not black enough and feeling like nobody would get it, nobody would want to get it. So I kind of just have in the past lived with feeling like, oh, I'm just an outsider and my interests are weird and I'm a weirdo and that's fine. I just like the things I like. I'm not going to change that, but I'm also not going to share myself too. So that also kind of contributes to why it's so hard for me to feel comfortable to share my art and to talk about my art. Um, Even now, like some of my coworkers know that I'm an artist and they have said like really great things about my artwork. And I'm just like, but it's weird. But it's like, but it's an anime character and you don't get it. It's a K-pop character. I'm sorry. like like I'm really like I literally will say like I'm sorry about my artwork and that's messed up. And that's like trauma from like childhood. but anyways, so yeah, so I've had to deal with that growing up and I had to face it again, I think, full on in 2021 when I got accepted to the Black Matter art exhibit or art show, which showcased a bunch of Black artists from Oregon. And I kind of felt like this is great, this is cool. I'm glad that my artwork could be part of this exhibition, but I also sort of felt like I didn't belong in it because while I'm a Black artist, I wouldn't necessarily say that my art is focused on the Black experience. So it felt kind of like I felt kind of like imposter. I felt imposter syndrome. That's perfect. That's a perfect phrase for that. I felt imposter syndrome because I didn't feel like I was Black enough to show my art as a Black woman in an exhibition that was for Black people. Let me say I'm getting over that somehow. There's still some times where I have artist friends who are Black and they do like mostly like Black characters. Well, they do characters of um, all ethnicities, skin tones, all of that, but they're mostly like they create Black um, characters in their art, where their art is very much indicative of Black American culture. And I haven't yet tapped into that in a way that feels authentic to me. I want to feel like I fit in somehow. I do. I want to feel like I fit in somehow, but I also want to um, create from the things that I'm interested in. So I'm still figuring that out. Um, but I also think it's okay for me to like K-pop. That doesn't I think the weirdness has always come in my fear that other people think that I you know what I've actually said this in my fear that other people might think that I'm like a Korea boo or weeaboo, or if you don't know those terms just go look them up. um and thinking that like I don't like being Black. I love my culture. I love my people. But I don't think that I or anybody else needs to be saying that anyone is not anything enough because they're not doing specifically, explicitly only one type of art. And I'm still overcoming those narratives in my head when I create stuff. But at the end of the day, I love the fact that I create pieces where literally every skin tone is represented. I just love the fact that if I get nothing else out of this art endeavor, that I get to say I authentically went into these spaces representing the people that I care about, my BIPOC community, my Black community, my internationally diverse community. So I'm content. And you know what? That comment that my aunt made to me all those years ago, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, there's like people still in the world that might think like that and say that kind of stuff. But if there's anyone out there that's dealing with the same thing, and I know they are because I've met so many other people like me who have culturally significant backgrounds that may not feel like they are 100% that culture or anything, you know. I've had friends tell me that, yeah, I really liked Incubus too in school. I didn't know that you liked Incubus, otherwise we would have been friends because I was just hiding that. I had friends that like I am just now finding out that they liked anime in college and didn't know that when when we went to college together because they were like hiding that part of themselves. And it's like, y'all, why are we hiding? Why are we hiding ourselves? Let's be happy and just do what we want. It makes everybody feel so much better. Like, do what you want, but don't like hurt other people. But like, you know what I'm saying. And it would have been so much different had like I had other Black people to lean on that were my age back in high school, back in middle school, that were into the same stuff as me, and not like make me feel like, oh, I was a weirdo. You know, if you've gotten this far, and if I manage to get this out on YouTube, let me know how you are feeling in the comments. Are you someone who's Black, Indigenous, or a person of color who has had this experience? Do you feel like you have felt like an outsider in your own community, or do you still feel like it? And yeah, just let me know your experience in the comments. And this whole podcast is so that folks don't feel alone like I did, especially in the creative world. And luckily I found like my small community of folks that get what I'm talking about. And I'm very excited to talk about that community of creators in another podcast later this month. So be on the lookout for that. It's Black creators that are friends of mine. Woohoo! But yeah, if you've gotten this far, like, subscribe, definitely leave a comment about your experience, and come back next week for the next episode. All right, guys, again, happy Black History Month. Go support Black artists, go support Black initiatives, and I'll see you next time. Bye.